Good morning. Welcome to Ramblings with Joe. So I was reading an article this morning about President Trump's letter to Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know what to think about it. The book that it supposedly came out of, it's a typewritten letter, and in the background is the silhouette of a naked lady. Now by silhouette I mean it's just lines. It's not anything graphic. And I read the letter. I don't know. It's very mysterious sounding. It's very, I'm not sure what the word is. Uses terms like enigma, and I would read it for you, but I just moved all this stuff into this office to try it out this morning, and I don't have anything cranked up. My computer makes a heck of a lot of noise. I'll have to find a different way to mount the mic. But it was ambiguous, really, at best. They're making a lot out of it. Number one, it seems like it was prefabbed for the president, if that makes sense. It seems like that it was typed out so that he could just sign something at the bottom of it. And the bottom does end up, signing his name did end up where the pubic hair would be for the silhouetted lady. Was that on purpose? I don't know. I don't really care. Like I've told you before, I think the president's a creep. I think the only possible worse outcome of the election would have been if Biden won. Well, I suppose it could have been worse if Oliver Chase or Chase Oliver, whatever the hell his name is, would have won. That would have been a worse situation. I may need to adjust the grind on this coffee. Just not a fan. Not everybody can like every coffee. At any rate, I don't know I don't know how much weight to give this letter as to whether it was actually from the president or not. That's being litigated now. He says that he didn't sign it. The idea that it is typewritten and that they're saying it was in a book might lead one to believe that it's prefabbed and he just signed the bottom of a page. I don't know. And it's almost like it was they were quoting Epstein and Trump. I don't know what the history of the letter is. It doesn't make any sense. It's not a stand on its own letter. As much as the legacy media is trying to put emphasis on the letter, it's not really, there's nothing there. It's very mysterious. So I'm a little bit scatterbrained this morning because of the situation here and trying to get used to being in a different setting. I may just have to resign myself to doing the podcast in the kitchen or the dining room. I really feel awkward up here. And I'm wondering if the wife can hear me doing this. She's still in bed. I wake up very early now. So it's coming up on 6 o'clock. Top of the hour. I'm not as comfortable here as I was in the kitchen. And then there's the whole matter of having to refill your coffee, having to go downstairs to do it. This may be the first time I've ever drank coffee in this room. So the president's letter, it's kind of a bust. I don't know what to make of it. Men are always doing silly stuff. I don't know what this letter context was. Evidently it was a book to Epstein, and the letter itself is more of a conversation between Epstein and Trump. So, like I said, it's completely out of context. And it's disjointed. That's what the letter is. It's disjointed. So I'm not sure if anything can ever be made of this letter. I'm sure the legacy media is going to drag it out and try and make a huge deal out of it. But if people actually read the letter, they're gonna be a little bit baffled and a little bit miffed as to what the letter means. It is mysterious to say the least, and ambiguous is probably the the best explanation for it. I'm not sure if anything can be made of this letter. I do wish they'd just release everything from the Epstein case just to get it over with, done, so we can be finished with the idea that anything is either in there or there's nothing in there. I mean, obviously the JFK thing was a huge bust when they released what they released. I'm not sure if can we ever trust our government to say that yes, they've released everything. I don't think we can. Once they release all of the Epstein files, I don't think that anybody will ever say, yeah, that's all they had. Who knows? But the letter itself it's a whole lot to do about nothing. That's what it is. I don't know. There's nothing there. There's just nothing there. I read an article that went down a descriptive road about what the letter was about. And when I got done with the article, I thought I should probably just read the letter. So I read the letter. There's nothing there. The article describing what the letter possibly could be was longer by 100-fold than the supposed letter itself, the alleged letter itself. So I don't know. And I don't think that there's anything there. I don't think that, the president has sued the news organization that published it and the executives and the reporter for, slander or something like that. And I don't know. I think probably the best thing for him to have done is come out and said, I didn't write this letter, and let it go. I don't know if the lawsuit's going to give it more credence than just letting it go. So the letter itself is very anticlimactic. It is not. There's nothing there. It's not a letter. Number one, it's not a letter. It doesn't say, Dear Jeffrey. It starts off quoting a conversation that I suppose that supposedly happened at some point. And it ends with him just signing. So, the letter itself was very anticlimactic. There's nothing there. There is nothing remotely defamatory about the president. There's nothing that is in the letter that is a smoking gun. Is the letter appropriate? Probably not in context going to someone like Jeffrey Epstein. Just the idea that you had a relationship with this monster is, well, it's definitely a knock against your character. But the letter itself, I bet there's hundreds of letters that might be similar to this one from the president to other people. You write some silly things. I'm not trying to defend the president. I'll say it again. I think he's a creep, and I think that, he should probably be indicted on war crimes. But I don't see anything in this letter. There's just nothing there. And if you think about all the letters that you've written over the years to other people, all the texts, all of this sort of thing, you're probably going to find some pretty bad things, some pretty, if taken out of context, some pretty awful things that were meant as a joke, that were meant to bring a smile to someone's face, that were completely out of character when taken out of context. It's one of the things. I was once accused of being a racist. So I confronted the person and I said, okay, so you've convinced me of this is all kind of abridged, but I told her, you've accused me of being a racist. Where are your receipts? Where's your proof? Basically, her contention was I had to prove that I wasn't a racist, which I just thought was hilarious, and I laughed at times, and she cried and told me about the past that she had to go through, and eventually there was nothing. It was just an empty accusation, and she pretty much had to admit that. We walked away from each other. I'll never trust this person again. I believe that the accusation was self-serving. I believe the accusation was just trying to take away from my character in the eyes of the community. What it ended up doing was making her look like a fool. She didn't know my history. She didn't know the people that I had dated in the past. She didn't know my business associates. And this was all very obvious because she would have never made the ridiculous claim if she did know all this. So I don't think that, and on my lowest of levels of political involvement, and I mean bottom level, I can imagine as you go up the chain, it just gets worse and worse, and that people throw mud hoping something will stick, and it never does. If you haven't done anything. This letter, I think it's mud, and I think they're throwing it to see if it'll stick. And it's not sticking. There's nothing there. It's just ridiculousness. At any rate, it is Wednesday. This is the middle of the week with some good coffee. It's okay. Here's what this coffee is. Do you want coffee this morning? It's going to be espresso mule, or do you want to skip it? I'll take the espresso mule. If it was, let's say, Folgers, and someone said, I have Folgers, do you want a cup? Nah, I'll pass. But the espresso mule, I'll take. It's just not my cup of coffee. Where was I? Oh, it's Wednesday. Hump day. We are halfway to the weekend. I don't know what I'm doing this weekend. I think I'm just going to chill. So today's topic was supposed to be about the letter to Epstein from Trump. I mean, the only word that keeps coming into mind is anticlimactic. So there you go. Read the letter. Just pull it up and read it. It's much ado about nothing. When you read it, you're going to be like, okay, so there are 300 articles of 1,000 words or more over this. And I'm not trying to diminish the relationship between Epstein and Trump. Who knows? They're never going to let us peons know anything about that. I hope you guys all have a wonderful Wednesday. Wonderful Wednesday. I hope that you can go out there and take it on and just, kick it right square in the teeth and have a good day. Yesterday was a little bit rough for me. Today, I'm looking forward to a better day. I hope that you have a better day. I hope that every day you have after today gets better. I hope you find peace, love, and dream. And until next time, ciao. Everything's not where it should be. It's very awkward up here this morning. I suppose I should edit out all of this talk about the new studio, or what could be the new studio. This chair squeaks. I missed the downstairs. Might have to go back to that. I'll edit all this out. Or not. We'll see. I might leave it in. I might stick it at the end of the video. Who knows?